When the science were asked, could you please define for me the word night? It have answered, I have no idea. So in terms of speaking about the word night, if you ask the science itself, what do the word night means? It will answer you have no idea because it's impossible. It's in other words impossible to invent or to create a device, and this device can possibly create for you something called light. We can actually create a device could be actually producing for us light, but creating a device to create light, that's impossible. So the science still have this kind of ridiculous concept that anything that cannot be produced, cannot be controlled, is impossible, and that's ridiculous. However, in the Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is making a clear statement by differentiating between day and night. In chapter number 3, verse number 190, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إن في خلق السماوات والأرض. Indeed, in the creation of the heavens and the earth, واختلاف الليل والنهار, and the difference between day and night, لآيات لقوم يتفكرون. So again, what does the word night mean then? In addition to that, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made a clear statement stating that the night, or in other words, the darkness, is surrounding the source of light. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in chapter number 91, verse number 4, Allah made a very clear statement stating, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والليل إذا يغشاها. So Allah speaking about the sun, that the sun is surrounded by darkness. So that makes absolutely no sense from your human point of view. So imagine if you're a human actually inside the earth, you've never traveled outside the earth before, and you're looking towards directly to the sun. And from your own point of view, every single time you will see the sun, that would indicate that there is a daylight. In other words, that there is no night at this time. However, every single time you will see the night itself, you won't see the sun. So how in the world you're gonna be saying this kind of sentence like that? That the night, which is the complete darkness, is absolutely surrounding the sun or the source of light, the only source of light that you have in this entire earth. So that makes no sense. However, if you had a wider look and you've traveled outside the Earth, because in 1950 NASA sent its first astronaut outside the Earth to weather the moon. And what it detected in this picture is that this person, looking from his own point of view right away, and this moon towards the sun, you find that there is a complete darkness until you will reach this kind of small light which is called sun. So that makes a huge sense right now. There is a complete darkness surrounding the sun itself. And that's what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have mentioned before. So that actually indicates that the one who said these words were not looking from inside the earth. He was getting the view from outside the earth looking toward the earth. That's why I've seen this matter called night. So have you ever asked yourself why astronauts are actually wearing this kind of weird, heavy, ridiculous, complicated suits when they are traveling outside the earth? They're actually wearing those kind of complicated suits because they are literally swimming inside a matter or within a matter called night. So actually the modern science explains all of that. It actually said in the research that this matter called night, it's covering or surrounding the entire universe, every single planet, every single star we have in this entire universe outside the earth is surrounded by this matter called night. So what does this matter called night existed of then? It actually existed of positive neutron as well as a negative neutron. Once this positive neutron will be created, an instant negative neutron will be created in opposite to it, and it will be killing it right away. So that actually indicates that this matter is being created and killed all the time from the very beginning of this universe until the end of this universe. So I believe now your question will be, did Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have mentioned that in the Quran before? Allah said that clearly in an absolute preciseness. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Allah said in the Quran in 3 verses, again 3 verses in the Quran. The first 3 verses Allah said أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وَلَقَدْ خَلَقْنَا السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضَ فِي سِتَّةِ أَيَّامٍ. We've created the heavens and the earth in 6 days. However, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have mentioned before in other 3 verses أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وَلَقَدْ خَلَقْنَا السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضَ وَمَا بَيْنَهُمَا فِي سِتَّةِ أَيَّامٍ. So in those 3 verses Allah have mentioned we've created the heavens and the earth and what's in between in 6 days. In other words, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is pointing towards something. That there is a creature between the heavens and the earth have been created. And it's one of 2 things. It's either being created in no time, or it's either being created and killed all the time from the entire beginning of the universe. So that actually indicate that what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have mentioned in the Quran 1400 years ago have been proved. I don't want to say proved, to be honest, but it might be explained in more details by our nowadays scientific research by NASA itself. So now the question will be again, so how in the world could be a person never traveled outside the earth before 1400 years ago could be saying possibly any sentence like this? However, as I always say, if you traveled outside the earth, every single word Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have mentioned inside His holy Quran is gonna make a huge sense for you. I'm very proud that I'm Muslim, and that's the greatest blessing that I've had from Allah in my entire life. I couldn't even be grateful enough for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to just thank Him enough about it. عارف ان في ناس دلوقتي تسأل انت بطلت ليه، وكنا بنقول لك ارجع من بدري وقعدت سنة كاملة ما رجعتش ليه. يعني ان شاء الله الفيديو اللي جاي اما بفكر يبقى Q&A questions and answers، يا اما هرد على الاسئله بتاعتكم لو حد سألني، يا اما بفكر اخلي الفيديو اللي جاي ده يبقى كله على بعضه وانا ليه بطلت وايه اللي حصل اصلا في السنة كاملة اللي حصل اللي خلاني ابطل ورجعت ليه. ان شاء الله، الله المستعان. And that's it. السلام عليكم.